Good morning students. Today we are going to start respiration in plants. What is respiration? Respiration occurs in plants and animal both. Respiration means to carry oxygen from outside and in animals. Respiration means to carry oxygen from outside, fill in the lungs, and from lungs it transport to different organ through the blood. Similarly, in plants too, respiration is essential for seed germination and for a growth and for a development of leaves, stem, etc. So, respiration is a catabolic process. Catabolic means a big molecule dissociate into smaller ones, and during this process energy is released which is utilized for growth. Respiration in plants is also a kind of catabolic reaction in which the raw material is glucose which not combust, it respires in the presence of oxygen and convert into energy. Energy stores in the form of ATP, and ATP again utilized to manufacture the food and to develop the plant, to grow the plant, to develop the flower, fruit, etc. Respiration completes into two steps. The first one is glycolysis and the second one is Krebs cycle. Complete respiratory process, respiration, say it is called cellular respiration because it occurs in a cellular level in the cell. So, cellular respiration is a complex process, completes into two stages. The first one is glycolysis. Glycolysis. The main points about glycolysis. Glycolysis occur in cytoplasm. It occurs in cytoplasm. In the absence of oxygen, see, we are dealing with the cellular respiration, but respiration starts with cytoplasm and in the absence of oxygen. So, in the absence of oxygen, glycolysis process occur in cytoplasm. It is evolved by three scientists, Embden, Meyerhoff and Parnas. That is why it is also called as EMP pathway. Embden, Meyerhoff and Parnas. EMP pathway. So, these are the three basic points about the glycolysis. So, in the cell, glycolysis occurred in cytoplasm. Here, the oxygen is not found, so it occurs in the absence of oxygen. Our prime raw material, that is glucose. Raw material for cellular respiration is glucose. So, glucose already found dissolved form in the cytoplasm. So, one molecule of glucose, respiratory substrate, that is glucose, one molecule of glucose converts into two molecule of pyruvic acid by 10 successive chemical reactions. So, at the end of the glycolysis, we will get two molecule of pyruvic acid. Glucose molecule is 6 carbon sugar. It converts into 3 carbon sugar at the end of the glycolysis. We have to learn this reaction as it is. So, one molecule of glucose is the first raw material for cellular respiration. Glucose is the 6 carbon sugar. In the presence of hexokinase enzyme and magnesium ion, glucose activates. When we start some reaction, substrate has to be activated. So, here glucose is activated by the ATP and it becomes glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate means what? The one phosphate group attached with the 6th carbon of glucose. So, glucose 6-phosphate. So, one molecule of glucose by using ATP as the energy, it becomes energized, it becomes glucose 6-phosphate. One molecule of glucose 6-phosphate phosphate converts into fructose 6-phosphate. So again, glucose and fructose are isomers, we know that. So glucose converts into its isomer by the enzyme isomerase and it becomes fructose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate, it is called activation or phosphorylation, both. Fructose 6-phosphate again in the presence of phosphofructokinase converts into fructose 1,6-diphosphate. So fructose 1,6-diphosphate again the fructose is activated by the use of ATP. So here one ATP is utilized, phosphorus is utilized from the ATP and it becomes ADP. Again one more phosphorus is coming from the ATP and it becomes ADP. Now fructose 1,6-diphosphate in the presence of aldolase enzyme converts into two molecules. One molecule dihydroxyacetone phosphate and one molecule of 3-PGAL phosphoglyceraldehyde. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is the 3-carbon compound and PGL is another 3-carbon compound. So, two molecules of 3-carbon compound are produced from the fructose 1,6-diphosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate and phosphoglyceraldehyde both are interchangeable. So, two molecules are found from fructose 1,6-diphosphate in the presence of enzyme aldolase. 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, it means phosphoglyceraldehyde, it contains phosphate group at the 3rd carbon. This is called 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, which is 3-carbon compound. Here are all these 6-carbon compound. Glucose and fructose are 6-carbon. One 6-carbon molecule dissociate into two molecules and both of them are with 3-carbon compound. So DHAP again converts into 3-PGAL. So here 3-carbon compound are two molecules. It becomes two molecules. So 2 molecule of 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde in the presence of enzyme dehydrogenase, it turns into 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid. Aldehyde turns into acid, glyceric acid. In this process, aldehyde to acid formation, hydrogen releases and that hydrogen are going to NAD, nicotinamide adenine dihydroxy phosphate converts into nicotide adenine dihydroxy phosphate. NAD converts into nicotinamide adenine dihydroxy phosphate. NADH2. This one is the reducing agent. So aldehyde releases hydrogen and hydrogen attach with NAD and forms NADH2. Again, this acid, 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid in the presence of phosphoglycerokinase enzyme turns into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. 3-phosphoglyceric acid means what? Here 1 and 3 carbon carry phosphate group. Here the first carbon phosphate is released and the third carbon phosphate is remaining. So 3-phosphoglyceric acid, the first carbon phosphate releases which convert the 2-ADP into 2-ATP. Phosphate group removes from the 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid. This phosphate group unite with adenosine diphosphate and make them adenosine triphosphate. Because here is a 2 molecule, so 2 phosphate group is releases. So 2-ADP convert into 2-ATP. Again 3-phosphoglyceric acid in the presence of phosphoglyceromutase enzyme, it becomes 2-phosphoglyceric acid. Means the phosphate group shift from third to second carbon. 2 molecule of phosphoglyceric acid. In the presence of enolase enzyme, phosphoglyceric acid converts into phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate is again 3-carbon compound. And phosphoenol pyruvate in the presence of pyruvate kinase enzyme becomes pyruvic acid. So 2 molecule of pyruvic pyruvic acid are produced. So phosphoenol pyruvate becomes pyruvic acid. Again, the phosphate groups remove from the phosphoenol pyruvate and they attach with the ADP and forms ATP. Two molecules of phosphoenol pyruvate are there. So two phosphate group releases and both the two phosphate group bind with the 2 ADP to 2 ATP. And two molecules of pyruvic acid, which are again 3 carbon compound, is produced. So in the glycolysis process, the complete conclusion of energy. What is the conclusion of energy? Because oxygen is not utilized, the energy produces is less than the Krebs cycle. So here is a chart which shows how many ATP and how many energy is produced by the glucose in the process of glycolysis. So 4 ATP produce. 4 ATP produce, 2 ATP here, 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid to 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and 2 ATP are produced here from phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvic acid. So 4 ATP produce. 2 ATP are used in this process. Here we have seen that glucose converts into glucose 6-phosphate, and again fructose 6-phosphate converts into fructose 1,6-diphosphate. At two places 1 ATP is used. So 1 and 1 2 ATP is used. So net gain is 2 ATP energy. Here we have seen that 2 NADH2 are also produced. NADH2 are equivalent to 3 ATP energy. So here the 2 NADH2 equals to 2 into 3 ATP, because 1 NADH2 carry energy equivalent to 3 ATP. So 2 into 3 ATP equals to 6 ATP. 2 ATP plus 6 ATP. So total gain is 8 ATP in the glycolysis. So at the end of the glycolysis, 8 ATP energy is produced, which is stored in the ATP. This one is the glycolysis, but here the cellular respiration is not complete. Since we have pyruvic acid, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid with 3 carbon compound. Now this pyruvic acid move to mitochondria for next respiration. So we will see now Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is the second stage of cellular respiration. 2 molecules of pyruvic acid from the glycolysis enter into mitochondria. Because it is involved by the Hans Krebs, that is why it is called Krebs cycle. The main important points of Krebs cycle are: it occurs in mitochondria. It occurs in the cell organelle mitochondria. And we know that mitochondria receives abundant of oxygen from the surrounding. So in the presence of oxygen, it occurs in the presence of oxygen. So mitochondria are the site where oxygen is stored and oxygen is utilized for cellular respiration. So in the presence of oxygen, TCA pathway or citric acid cycle. Krebs cycle is also known as tricarboxylic acid pathway or citric acid pathway, citric acid cycle. Krebs cycle, because it occurs in a cyclic manner, that is why it is called cycle. The first substance at the end of the cycle, first substance is developed at the end of the cycle. So it is a cyclic process, circular process. Tricarboxylic acid, because in this process 3 carboxylic acids are developing. That is why tricarboxylic acids are called, it is called citric acid cycle, because the first product is citric acid. That is why it is also called as citric acid cycle. So Krebs cycle or TCA cycle or citric acid cycle, all these three names are same. Net gain 30 ATP. See, in the absence of oxygen we have gained only 8 ATP, but in the presence of oxygen we will get 30 ATP. One glucose molecule after cellular respiration, means after the glycolysis and Krebs cycle, produce 38 ATP energy. 38 ATP energy is equivalent to 686 kilocalorie. So one glucose molecule carries 686 kilocalorie energy. It is stored in the 38 ATP energy. So 8 ATP are produced in glycolysis. Now we will see how the 30 ATP is produced in this process. We also know that during the respiration, oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is released. We have not discussed this release of carbon dioxide in the glycolysis, because here in glycolysis oxygen is not utilized. That is why carbon dioxide is not releases. Now we will see in the Krebs cycle occur in the presence of oxygen, and when oxygen is utilized for respiration, it reduces carbon dioxide. So at different steps we will see carbon dioxide is evolving, carbon dioxide is releasing in the outside the environment. So the first product for mitochondria is, the first step to enter in mitochondria is called intermediate action. It occurs on the membrane of mitochondria. Intermediate action. Pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid, which is the 3-carbon compound developed in the cytoplasm, start entering into the membrane of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a cell organelle which has a chain of enzyme related with the oxidation. So pyruvic acid with the 3-carbon molecule with the coenzyme A, it reacts with the coenzyme A. Water releases, hydrogen releases, which goes to NAD and becomes NADH2 and produce acetyl coenzyme A. Pyruvic acid is a 3-carbon molecule. One water molecule is releases, hydrogen ion releases, which convert NAD into NADH2, means energy is released which is stored into NADH2. One carbon dioxide is also releases. Here we have notified that one carbon dioxide is releases in this intermediate state or transition state. One carbon dioxide is, pyruvic acid is with 3-carbon compound, first carbon is released in the form of carbon dioxide. So it becomes 2-carbon compound. 2-carbon compound is acetyl coenzyme A. This one is the transition reaction. Intermediate reaction occur on the membrane of the mitochondria. Now this acetyl coenzyme A came into the matrix of mitochondria. Mitochondria has a cristae, we know that, and on a cristae there are F1 particle. F1 particle are filled with the oxidative enzymes. So this acetyl coenzyme A, already present substance oxaloacetic acid in the matrix of the mitochondria, react with this. So acetyl coenzyme A start reacting with the oxaloacetic acid which is previously found into matrix of the mitochondria, which is 4-carbon compound. So 4-carbon compound oxaloacetic acid which is already present in the matrix react with the acetyl coenzyme A in the presence of enzyme synthetase. Here is a 4-carbon, here is a 2-carbon. They attach with it themselves, utilize with themselves and produce 6-carbon compound. 4 plus 2, 6-carbon compound. The first product is citric acid in the matrix of mitochondria, which is called citric acid. That is why this cycle is also known as citric acid cycle. carbon citric acid. Here the water is used, coenzyme A again is released, again coenzyme A work with next pyruvic acid. So it move in a circular movement. Acetyl coenzyme A with oxaloacetic acid produce citric acid, which is 6 carbon compound. Again citric acid, by releasing H2O in the presence of enzyme aconitase and iron molecule, they convert into cis-aconitic acid. Cis-aconitic acid is again 6 carbon compound, again in the presence of aconitase enzyme and iron molecule. Here the water is used and it becomes isocitric acid. These are all 6 carbon compound. Isocitric acid convert into oxalosuccinic acid in the presence of dehydrogenase enzyme. Again here acid isocitric converts into oxalosuccinic acid and hydrogen is released. These are used to form NADH2. First NADH2 is produced here, the second NADH2 is produced here. Oxalosuccinic acid dehydrogenation, isocitric acid dehydrogenase into oxalosuccinic acid, and dehydrogenase enzyme release the hydrogen molecule which are used in Na formation of NADH2. Oxalosuccinic acid in the presence of enzyme D-carboxylase converts into alpha ketogluteric acid. Here 6 carbon compound turns into 5 carbon. One more carbon is releases. So one carbon releases here in the form of CO2. Again another carbon releases here in the form of CO2 in the presence of decarboxylase. So decarboxylation occurs and carbon dioxide releases. So from pyruvic acid, one carbon releases here, another carbon is releases here. Alpha ketogluteric acid, which is 5 carbon compound, converts into 4 carbon compound. Again one carbon dioxide is releasing here, dehydrogenase enzyme NADH2 is produced and succinyl coenzyme A is produced. Succinyl coenzyme A used alpha ketogluteric acid with coenzyme A in the presence of dehydrogenase enzyme converts into succinyl coenzyme A. One carbon dioxide is released here. This one is the 4 carbon compound. Succinyl coenzyme A convert into succinic acid. Coenzyme A is released here. Again it is utilized here. It is released here. Again it used to. This one is again coenzyme A is move in a circular manner. With alpha ketogluteric acid produce succinyl coenzyme A. When succinyl coenzyme A becomes succinic acid, coenzyme A releases, which is again 4 carbon compound. Succinic acid, succinyl coenzyme A to succinic acid, there is less energy is releases which convert GDP into GTP. Guanosine diphosphate convert into guanosine triphosphate, similar to ATP. Succinic acid converts into fumaric acid in the presence of dehydrogenase. Here FADH2 is produced, flavine adenine dihydroxy phosphate. So FADH2 is produced here, flavine adenine dinucleotide. So fumaric acid converts into then malic acid, which is again 4 carbon compound. So now from here carbon dioxide is not releases. From succinyl coenzyme A, all these 3 stages are to produce the previous substance oxaloacetic acid by this succinyl coenzyme A. So these are the stages, fumaric acid, then malic acid, then oxaloacetic acid, which are sequentially produce the first substance of the cycle, oxaloacetic acid. Here again NADH2 is produced. In the presence of dehydrogenase, oxaloacetic acid is produced. So first we have started the cycle with the oxaloacetic acid, which is previously present in the matrix, and again at the end of the cycle oxaloacetic acid is again produced. In this cycle we have seen that 3 carbon of pyruvic acid is moving out in the form of carbon dioxide at 3 different stages. One here, and then second one is here, and the third one is here. So all the 3 carbon of pyruvic acid at a different stages releases, and they produce energy, and energy is utilized into storing NADH to 1, here is 2, here is 3, and here is 4. 4 NADH2 is producing. 1 FADH2 is producing, and 1 GTP is producing this process, during this process. NADH2, FADH2 and GTP, all these 3 are going to electron transport system. Electron transport system is a sequential system of a cytochrome. Cytochrome which receives, we have seen in the photosynthesis, cytochrome receives the electron and it it moves the electron. It receives the electron and again it moves the electron. So we are discussing about the electron transport system. So cytochrome are sequentially electron acceptors. They release electron, receive electron and releases it, and during the moving of electron from one cytochrome to another, it releases the energy. So NADH2, hydrogen, will be released and it move to electron transport system and ATP is produced. So at the end of the electron transport system, 4 NADH2 will produce how many ATP? 1 NADH2 release 3 ATP. So 4 NADH2 equals to 3 into 4, 12 ATP. It will produce 12 ATP. 4 NADH2 will produce 12 ATP. 1 FADH2 is equals to 2 ATP. So it releases 2 ATP. 1 GTP is equals to 1 ATP. So equals to 1 ATP. So at the end of this cycle, 15 ATP will be produced. 1 pyruvic acid produce 15 ATP. And we have seen that pyruvic acid molecule are of 2. So 15 into 2, that is why 30 ATP will be produced from the 2 pyruvic acid. And this 2 pyruvic acid will produce 3 ATP after the Krebs cycle and electron transport system. 30 ATP produced in the Krebs cycle, 8 ATP produced in the glycolysis. Collectively, it becomes 38 ATP. So we have seen that one glucose molecule produces 38 ATP, 30 from the Krebs cycle and 8 from the glycolysis. So it will produce 38 ATP from the one glucose molecule. It is equivalent with 686 kilocalorie. So we have to learn this Krebs cycle as it is, this diagram, and we have to know the 38 ATP, how they produce.